This sinkhole made national headlines back in February after opening up near 67th and Pacific and swallowing two cars. Let's go back to February 24th when Chronicle's Beth Carlson reported on the scene near the campus of UNO and Exarban.
Pacific Street near 67th collapses, forcing two cars into a sinkhole. Crews now assessing the damage as the roads continue to be blocked off. Watch the moment two cars are swallowed beneath the road.
I've never seen anything like this before, or anything even adjacent.
Witnesses say they watched bystanders helping the two drivers escape. Omaha police say no one was hurt.
This caught everybody by surprise.
One witness told KETV he felt a dip in the road just minutes before it happened. Another says he ran outside in the aftermath.
I just drove by here not 10 minutes before it happened, and went into my house and noticed our water pressure was like super low, and just like looked out the window and saw police rushing to the scene. So it happened pretty quick. I think they were sitting still the way that their cars kind of like sank down into the ground.
Tow trucks and Omaha Police and Fire successfully pulled both cars out. Now crews are working to assess the damage.
Until street repairs are going to be able to fix this, I imagine this road will be closed for several days.
Police confirmed there was no recent utility work happening in the area. MUD in a statement says they are working to determine a cause.
We're worried that about where those cross lines are is where it could continue to expand.
MUD and Omaha Police are asking drivers to avoid the area. In Exarban, Beth Carlson, KETV News Watch 7.
But you didn't have to avoid the area for long. City crews took only 10 days to repair that hole after working day and night. The 15-foot hole collapsed on February 24th, but was reopened on March 5th. It took 6 days for crews to repair the damage from a water main break, but an additional 4 days for concrete to cure before the city allowed drivers back on the roadway. Teaching within 1,000 feet from the sinkhole when it opened up was University of Nebraska Associate Professor Dr. Seung-Hee Kim. He was at UNO's Peter Kiewit Institute that Tuesday afternoon, and he joins us now to answer questions regarding the formation of sinkholes and all the science behind these holes in the ground. Dr. Kim, thanks for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me. Yeah.
So did that change the topic of learning that day or over the next couple days in your classroom?
Yeah, actually, that was quite interesting time because I just finished my class before that happened. And actually, we are talking about some like a groundwater flow, how this like of water can carry away some of the soil. So how soil can be moved away. So that was quite good example of about how this like water flow and the underground can be associated together.
So let's go into your classroom, but at the 100 level. How do sinkholes start?
So I gotta say first that this is quite different sinkhole that you may heard about some other area, like for example, like Florida. Also, a sinkhole can happen in that area because of limestones dissolution of the water. Then they can make some like a big void space. They can lead to some sinkhole. But in Omaha's case, it's quite different. So I would call that that is more like urban cave-in. So in that case, like flowing water is going to carry away the soil, leaving behind some of the void space. Then with time, this void space can get larger and larger, and and the pavement can breach over those are hidden void space. Then suddenly, then it can give away, and the collapse can happen.
So does the soil that we have around here in Omaha, does it impact how often sinkholes can form? Do we have a specific type of soil that's different?
Oh yes, indeed we have quite like a distinct soil type in this area, not only in Omaha, but also like in Midwest area, including like Iowa area and also some other Midwest states. So basically we have lots of the Lewis. So that it came from some other language in the Europe, so people pronounce in a different way. Some people say Lewis, some other people say Loss.
Yeah.
But I would call it, so I'm gonna go with the Lewis.
Okay.
So this is a wind-blown deposited soil, very fine grained, so very, very small size. So it is fertile, but also it is good when it is dry and undisturbed. But the problem is that when it gets wet, then it can lose some strength, then it can fall apart. Then with that, if there is some flowing water going through this Lewis soil, then quite good portion of the soil can get carried away.
Okay. So does it make it more common for us than maybe other parts of the Midwest to have sinkholes?
I would say that even though and also some other area have such a same lowest type of the soil,
Yeah.
but also another distinct feature of this Omaha area is that we have quite large like hilly topography. So whenever we have like some hilly area, then water can get more high potential energy. So you may have
Okay.
heard about the potential energy. So it means that the water's velocity can get also larger. So basically water can go fast, then it can carry away more soils.
So we see these sinkholes form, and it's an abrupt thing. It maybe happens over a few seconds, but it probably takes a lot longer than that for the entire process. How long of a process is that?
We don't know exactly how long they would take, but I can say they can take maybe like a days or month or even longer.
Okay.
So yeah, it may look sudden on the surface, but actually in the underground it is very long-term process. So that will accumulate, getting larger and larger voids. So in the end, it can just like gives away.
Are there any warning signs we can look out for? Business owners, homeowners, people driving, anything we can watch for?
It can be quite a good, like $1 million question, but I would say that if you can notice some sort of like a depression on the pavement,
Yeah.
or maybe like a crack or some settlement on the curve or some sidewalk, or maybe if you can observe some like a water pond where it should not be, or maybe some muddy water flowing in front of some drain.
Yeah.
All of these can somehow hint maybe there may be some void space on the ground.
Yeah. And I want to go back to those diagrams if we can, and just kind of cycle through them a little bit because you provided these to us. So what are we looking at right here?
So this is a normal condition. Like
Okay.
we have the asphalt paving, underneath it we have like a low soil. Again, this is very fine-grained, silt-rich, but
Yeah.
also it can be easily eroded away. And also we have some storm sewer or sanitary sewer inside of it.
And here's the next one. Things are starting to form.
Yeah, it's starting to form. With this pipeline is getting old, it can be weak. And also with a lot of these winter and summer cycles, there are lots of like freezing thaw actions. It can add extra stress on the pipelines. So it can give away, so it can make some cracks with some heavy rain, and so water can infiltrate. So all with the combined effect, so water, all this water can flow fast, then it can carry away the soil. So that will be kind of like beginning of this erosion or like a
Yeah,
piping.
and as you're saying, water is the main culprit here.
Water and erodible soil and the
Yeah.
topography. Yeah, so three things can be combined.
Okay, we only have about 30 seconds
Yeah,
left,
yeah.
but what can people do to prevent this from happening? Is there anything we can do in construction techniques?
So the problem is that we have so many aging infrastructure on the ground. Maybe we can select some critical area. Then we can adopt some technology maybe a ground penetration radar
Right.
or some other geophysical monitoring methods, or some other combined of even maybe non-destructive, maybe a reinforcement
Right.
of these pipelines using some liners. So those can be combined.
Do you think newer construction, newer roads, we should have more confidence in those than the older ones?
Yeah, newer construction, definitely we should have more confidence.
Okay.
But again, it should be again combined with some continuous monitoring effort, and also paying attention to any of those signs,
Okay.
and also using some other maybe CCTV cameras or
All right.
doing some maintenance.
Dr. Kim, thanks so much for joining us today.
Oh yeah, thank you very much for having us.
After the break, there's one more sinkhole we need to talk about, and it's the one which has been around the longest. Learn what's currently happening at 16th and Farnham. First, a reminder that your comments are an important part of the show. If you want to be heard, you can email those comments to news@ketv.com. Remember, we love hearing from you. We'll be right back.